Let's do it.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Hey everyone, how are you all doing today? So Yoda, as we know, he was one of the most smart and wise Jedi that had ever graced the presence of the Jedi Temple. Now, in the new canon audiobook, Dooku, Jedi Lost, we learn about Count Dooku's backstory and why he left the Jedi Order. It's different than what we had in Legends, but it's still great, especially because it shows us just how he and Anakin are more alike than previously thought. Specifically, how that connection relates to the Jedi Order not wanting to train Anakin at first. Now, unlike Anakin, Dooku arrived at the Jedi Temple while he was still young enough not to remember anything about his birth family. He was raised by the Jedi and his upbringing was perfect, all until Yoda, the Jedi Grandmaster that we all know and love, unintentionally set his dark fate in motion. While Dooku was still a youngling, Yoda brought him to his home planet of Sereno, despite knowing the potential dangers of doing so. It was there that Dooku accidentally met his sister and learned that his father was the leader of Sereno and hated the Jedi, which is why he didn't want to keep the Force-sensitive Dooku, his own son. Most Jedi never meet their biological families and never know anything about them, but Dooku got a lot of that all in one outing, especially as an impressionable youngling. I mean, how would you guys feel to learn that your father never wanted you? Dooku was deeply affected and found solace in forming a relationship with his sister, Jenza. He felt a special connection with her through the Force, and they communicated in secret throughout his years as a Padawan, Jedi Knight, Master, and member of the Jedi Council. Now, okay, we all know that attachment was forbidden for a Jedi, and communications with the blood relations of a Jedi was equally forbidden, if not more. This secret attachment led Dooku to return to his homeworld of Sereno on multiple occasions during his time with the Jedi. Yoda sees all of this occur, and how the attachment of Dooku and Jenza led him to having fear for her, anger for the Jedi's indifference to his homeworld, hatred for what the Jedi were becoming, and suffering for not being able to serve his homeworld as he should while being a Jedi. It was then that Dooku left the Order in favor of becoming Count so he could serve his homeworld and sister the way he felt he should. Now we fast forward many years after Dooku has left, and a 9-year-old boy shows up on the Jedi Temple steps who Qui-Gon Jinn claims to be the chosen one. But this boy has had nearly a full decade to bond with his mother, and she is everything to him. Given Yoda's experience with Dooku, it's not hard to see alarm bells going off in his head about Anakin. Yoda watched on as Mace said that Anakin was too old to be trained as a Jedi. Qui-Adi asks about Anakin's mother, and we learn that he misses her. Finally, Yoda instructs the boy in his first lesson that such attachment can lead to the dark side. This wasn't hollow teachings. Yoda had seen firsthand how attachment completely overtook Dooku and led him away from the Jedi. Now, this Anakin shows up and has an infinitely stronger connection with his mother. Why would Yoda not fear training the boy? I mean, just look how it turned out with Dooku, and he didn't even know his family to begin with. Children with memories of their families and homeworlds were always in danger of facing and succumbing to temptation. Yoda sensed Anakin's fear, knew that the dark side was a possible destination for him, but Yoda's judgment was also clouded. The Shroud of the Dark Side, produced by a combination of the Jedi pride and the power of the Sith, had fallen. Yoda couldn't see what would happen with Anakin. While he feared the attachment could have negative consequences, he couldn't say with any certainty that Anakin would have had the same outcome as Dooku. So when Obi-Wan insisted to train Anakin on Qui-Gon's dying wish, Yoda really had no concrete reason to object. He just had a bad feeling about it, and well, he was right. Even so, Yoda never failed to warn Anakin about the danger of attachments, even into the events of Episode 3. In the end, history repeated itself, and Anakin followed the path of Dooku and fell to the dark side, even quicker than his Sith predecessor. I imagine that Yoda was haunted by his epic failure. I mean, we can only imagine. 2 of his pupils joined the Sith, and together they brought about the death of the Republic and the entire Jedi Order. To me, though, this is the greatness of Yoda's character. He failed, but he also let his failure teach him. He resolved to take a chance again, years later, on another boy who was considered too old to begin the Jedi training. A boy who had attachments to his friends, Luke. Luke would be Yoda's final apprentice and would be the one who would help bring Anakin back from the dark side and destroy the Sith once and for all. You know, at least until Episode 9 comes out. We'll figure out everything that happens with that. So what do you guys think? Should Yoda have allowed Anakin to be trained after what happened with Dooku? Or should he have just, planted his cane firmly and said, Obi-Wan, happen? No, it's not happening. What would you have done? Let me know in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed this canon video, which provides some insight on why Dooku would have been fearful to train Anakin, and a lot of the answers that we know with some of the canon info as well. So hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, remember, the Force will be with you always.